Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We're on each and every week and thanks for tuning in. We deal with topics here in Las Vegas about what's going on locally in the real estate market, as well as obviously other things that affect you in your buying and selling decisions, whether it's the mortgage rate that you're going to get or the mortgage rate that your buyer is going to get. Maybe you're interested in selling your house and buying something else for residual income. As everyone knows, finding a way to increase revenue into what you're earning each and every month secures your retirement, and be able to get money in the door now or in the near future to be able to save for that day where you're going to retire. We have a terrific guest for you today, and for the next couple of weeks we're going to be delving into those issues that surround retirement. People that retire, let's say you're 60 to 65 years old, and you've been living in your house and you made payments diligently for 20 and 30 years, and you've either paid off your house or you're about to pay off your house. You're getting into your retirement years where your income is going to be surely diminished, and you're going to be getting Social Security and what other benefits that you have from your current corporation or your current employer, or maybe your 401k or things like that. How are you going to live from now till those times where you're going to pass away? And a lot of people don't think about it like that, but it's extremely important that you try to understand what products are available in the mortgage industry to be able to help you bridge the gap of those 20, 30, 40 years that you have between retirement and the time you pass away. How do you do that? There's a great product out there. It is a reverse mortgage. And Nina Penny, who is a certified reverse mortgage professional, can help us talk about what those particular advantages are if you use the reverse mortgage product. I'm very happy to have her on. She's one of 150 people in the country that have that particular designation, and she's agreed to come on the show today and talk to us about exactly what options are available for you, how you can be able to take advantage of certain aspects that you may not even be aware of, and to dispel the type of thoughts that you might have about reverse mortgages. Years and years and years ago, there were some issues with that particular product and unscrupulous lenders. Well, it's a very controlled and very heavily regulated part of the mortgage industry, which you can take advantage of, especially with someone like Nina, who can explain the whole thing. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching each and every week. We try to bring you some information that is useful, not that puffed up information which either tries to sell something to you or have you run out the door and buy something. We're trying to inform you as to some of the information and interesting stuff that you're going to have to know if you want to buy or sell real estate, if you want to do certain types of mortgages, if you want to use a certain type of professional. It's very, very important that you understand the choices that you have so that you can make the best informed decisions. As I said earlier in the show, we're going to talk about reverse mortgages today, and we have with us a terrific person, someone who is an expert in the field, Nina Penny. Nina, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on. Okay, tell me, how did you get involved in reverse mortgages? What drew you to what this is?
About 13 years ago, a friend of mine came to me and said, do you know anything about this reverse mortgage thing? My wife wants one, and I don't know, it sounds too good to be true.
Right.
I said, well, I'm not really sure. I'll do some checking in it, and I'll get back to you. And I was doing all this research on reverse mortgages, trying to find something to say, no, it's not good for you. And I couldn't find anything.
Right.
And so by the time I got done with my research, I had nothing but good things to report. And so his wife went on and went through getting a reverse mortgage. And by that time, I loved the product.
Right.
I wanted to work and provide this great product to people as well.
Okay, to become a certified reverse mortgage specialist that you are, and that there are very few people in the country that have that designation, what type of schooling, education, what kind of work did you have to do to get the designation?
Well, you have to have several years in the business. You have to have done 50 loans,
I see.
take a test, and pretty much keep up with credentialing and special coursework.
Now, the advantage that you have with that type of designation, when you talk to people, do they understand the intricacies of the product, the schooling that you've done? Do they appreciate it, or is it just, you're the expert, tell me what to do?
It's never, you're the expert, tell me what to do. I
Right,
wish,
right, right.
But a lot of times I think it's educating people, letting people know how the program can benefit them, helping them overcome some of the misconceptions, because over the years there's so many of them. A lot of times I can show them how to use the product in order to be the best fit for them and their needs.
Okay. We have several topics we're going to cover in the next couple of days, talking about certain aspects of the reverse product and how you, first of all, dealing with the type of customer that this is. You have to have a personality and a desire to want to communicate with older people. Obviously, this is a product that requires you be at least 62 years old and have a certain amount of equity in your home.
Absolutely.
So, do you enjoy that process? Do you enjoy speaking with people who are in the retired age?
I love it. I think what I love most is that I can show them a product that they can actually tap into some of the equity built up in their home and create a new funding stream, an additional bucket, fill some gaps.
Right.
Yes, it's a relationship building more so than doing a conventional regular forward loan.
Right.
We're actually problem solving and trying to find additional streams and some different answers for folks going into retirement years.
There are a lot of misconceptions, one of the topics I want to cover, about what the product is. I think there's a lot of negativity surrounding it because I think in the 80s there were some issues with the product and how it was delivered, perceived, and the back end when the person who has the reverse mortgage is no longer with us, that the spouse or the surviving members of the family got taken advantage of. That doesn't happen anymore, but give us your opinion as to what some of the other misconceptions, or even that one is, and how it affects people, and how do you dispel those problems?
You know what? Those misconceptions still haunt the product today. And the number one question is that the bank takes the home as soon as they sign the loan documents.
Right.
That's not the case at all. The house is your house, always remains your house. You can sell it at any time. It's just a regular loan. I like to explain to folks, imagine it as being a traditional FHA loan, except you're not obligated to make any payments.
Right.
You can if you want, but you do not need to make payments. You're not obligated to make them. All you have to do is keep up with your taxes, insurance, and your HOA.
Okay, so the main issue here that you're talking about is they used to be able to, or they didn't be able to, but the perception is that they could have taken your house. Now they can't take your house.
No.
You have payment options,
Right.
which a lot of people don't understand. Explain a little bit about that too.
So sometimes people, well, let's touch base on the first one in regards
Okay.
to the bank taking the home.
Right.
So when a client takes a reverse mortgage, they remain on title. It's a standard loan. You know,
Right.
the bank has a deed of trust in case you don't pay property taxes or something of that nature. But it's just a standard loan. You take it, the interest accrues on the side. And then when you sell your home, you no longer occupy it, the amount of money that you borrowed plus the interest is paid back.
Right.
It's just a regular loan. Now, the second question that you had asked me about,
Yeah, the second question simply about when people are perceiving what goes on with the reverse mortgages. Obviously they're thinking about the house itself, but I was talking about how people, some of the different payment options that you might be able to have when you're paying off your reverse. You mentioned you can pay it off, you don't have to pay it off, you can make partial payments, you can take money out.
Yep.
Explain some of those options for people.
okay, so how they can get their money is, it's their money, they can take it any way they want. Now, they can elect to take a payment for life. They can elect to take a payment for a specific amount of time, or they can choose to take a specific amount of time to get a specific amount of payment.
Okay.
That's all whatever somebody may choose. They
Right.
can also leave it all or some of it in the line of credit. And that is the part of the product that is financial advisors are looking at this and thinking, oh my God, this is that silver bullet. This is something that can help people, you know, through years and years of their retirement planning.
Now, I want to get into that
Okay.
in depth in another segment.
Okay.
One of the issues that we're talking about is perception. How do you change a person's mind when they have it in their mind that this is not something they want to do because of the misconceptions that they've had over the years of hearing about the horror stories that happened in the business in years past?
I think a lot of it is that nowadays there's, you know, we have the internet, which
Right.
a lot of people will go and they'll do their research and they'll find out that, you know, yes, they do remain on title. Another misconception is that, you know, when they use up all their money, they get thrown out or they have to leave, and, you know, the loan is not due until either you sell your home or until you no longer live there.
Right.
So you can live there even though you may not have any funds left in your reverse mortgage. You still get to enjoy your home and live there as long as you choose to.
Okay, so dispelling that myth, talking to older people, getting them educated, do you find that they are aggressively pursuing the information, or do you have to provide it to them on a silver platter? I mean, what I'm saying is, most people I know who reach a certain age, and as the older you get, you have other concerns. You have health concerns, you have loved ones who may have health concerns, things that you're thinking about, which are, okay, how am I going to make my money stretch until I'm not here anymore? How do I do that? And the longer they live, more of these concerns come, within, what they're thinking about each and every day. When you're talking to them, that part of the solution, which is the financial solution, which is the reverse mortgage, do you find that they are aggressively seeking the information from you? Like I'm trying to get across to you is your job as the person who helps these people. What part of it is the part that you think the customer needs most?
I think the education and the being consistent with the messages that they're getting when they're reading online.
Right.
People, this is a product that people need to understand, be comfortable with before they move forward. And that is traditionally, this is not like a loan where we're like, okay, here, sign here, and
Right.
you're done. This is a loan that takes a lot of time. There's safeguards in place to protect our seniors, and
Right.
I don't think it's that silver platter type, but I think that they need to warm up to it and become friendly with it and,
Right.
and look at what it can do for them.
And it's more about the relationship that you have, the trust you build up.
Yes.
And this is something, like you said, I'm a young couple, we're going to have a kid, and we're about ready to get a new job. I need a house, right? You go, you sign a piece of paper, you got a 20 to 30 year mortgage and you're done. You're not thinking about it because you have, you have your whole life in front of you. At the end of the cycle where you're thinking about, okay, this is it for the rest of my life, you need to take more time with it, obviously. And you need to develop that trust and relationship with the person who's giving you the information. That's the part, I think, where your training, your certification, the things that you bring to the table offers a solution both professionally as well as personally, because obviously you must get close to these people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. You know, it's I have all my clients or my friends. When
Right.
I go to a certain part of town, I always go and see folks. It's like, I'm coming, can I come visit? Like,
Right.
oh yes. And
great.
it is a great relationship building. Is it a product that anyone can, if someone tries to do reverse mortgages and thinks, oh, this is just a great product, I'm just going to go do it, probably will do it for a short time and then get out, because it's not a fast producing. It takes sometimes 6-8 months before people are comfortable and done enough research that they've really warmed up to it.
Thanks, Nina. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
And I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back each and every week, too. We do get feedback on the show, and I do appreciate your comments and the people out there who are getting information that they can use each and every day, each and every week when they're trying to decide, do I buy, do I sell, how do I work this real estate market to the best of my abilities? We've been talking reverse mortgages with Nina Penny, and she joins us again. Nina, how are you?
Great.
Thank you. Okay, there are a lot of options that you can do with reverse mortgages. One of the things that we talked about off air was credit, that you can use it as a line of credit. So this is part of the options and part of the payment plans that we talked about in the early part of the show. This was one of the options. So
Right.
to explain a little bit about what that is.
So a lot of times people look at reverse mortgages as maybe being a bucket or an additional funding stream, or we don't know how long we're going to live.
Right.
So
And by the way, when you talk to clients about that, do they have it in their mind that that's really what this is about, is giving them money till they die? I mean, is that, because very rarely do you talk about your own passing, but you're a professional, you have to deal with this all the time. Does this come up?
a lot.
Okay.
And what I find, especially with a couple, they're concerned about when one passes.
Right.
And when you retire, it's fair to say that you're not gaining any more income. You have no more income earning
Right.
potential.
That's right.
You have to look at the only option of reducing debt. And then when one spouse passes, you're eliminating yet another income stream.
Right.
And so a lot of people look at, what are we going to do? What if one of us lives to 90 and the other one doesn't?
Right.
How are we going to make it there?
Right.
So a reverse mortgage, a lot of people think, I don't need it today. I might need it someday. And when I need it, I'll go take it out.
Okay.
Well, a lot of financial advisors and professionals in the field are really looking at different options. And the one option they really seem to like is the line of credit.
Okay.
So let's say at 62, we say, oh, we're fine, we don't need a reverse mortgage, right?
Right.
But what about if we plan ahead and say, well, we can take a line of credit and not touch it.
What do you mean by that?
Okay.
Explain that.
So let's say you have a house that's $200,000.
Okay.
Okay. And with the reverse figure, you get 50%, so you'd have $100,000 available to you.
Okay.
And you decide, you know what? We're just going to let that money sit there in the line of credit.
Okay.
Okay. So it's,
So basically, you get a reverse mortgage, but you have a reverse mortgage line of credit
yeah,
that you don't touch.
that you don't touch.
Okay.
You just let. Now, every reverse mortgage has a growth rate attached. Okay.
What does that mean?
A growth rate is for the amount of money that's sitting there, it's going to grow.
Okay.
at approximately, I'm going to use 5%. It's relatively in that ballpark.
Okay.
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 So the growth rate is going to be 5%. So no matter what happens to your housing worth, whatever happens in the economy, it's not going to cut that amount. It's going to continue to grow by 5%.
Okay, so this $200,000 example,
Yep.
you have $100,000. Every year it grows by 5%, or
Yes.
is it? Okay, so after 5 years, you have an additional whatever percentage that is
Right.
in your available to borrow.
Yes.
Okay, now you haven't touched it.
No.
Is there a cost to that? I mean, do you have to pay a fee every year?
No,
like
you don't pay anything.
I see.
Okay, so now you've paid the closing costs at closing.
Right.
Right? The line of credit sitting there growing. Now, if you can imagine growing at 5% upon itself every year,
Right.
what that's going to look like in 10 years, 20
Right,
years.
right.
If my spouse passes away and I'm by myself, I have this whole bucket. Mm-hmm. I can age in place and stay at home because of this additional funding stream that we set up when we didn't need it.
I see. Now, on the line of credit approval that you get on the reverse mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
does this also mean you continue to make payments on your monthly? I mean, how does
You
it
never
all?
have to make a payment with a
I
reverse
see.
mortgage.
I see.
That's the beauty of it. Now, if people take out a reverse mortgage, and let's say you have a $100,000, balance on your mortgage, and your house
Right.
is worth $300,000. So let's just say we're going to pay off that first mortgage. Now you have no more mortgage payment. So you've just eliminated your debt by the amount of principal and interest that you're paying to the bank every month.
Right.
Okay, and you'd probably have an additional $50,000 that you can use any way you want. That $100,000 is your new loan amount,
Okay.
and the interest will be accruing on that amount that you borrowed, the $100,000.
If you use it.
You've used $100,000 now just to pay off your mortgage.
I see what you're
Okay.
saying. Okay. Okay.
So let's say you say, well, you know what? Now I want to make payments on it, but I don't want to be obligated to pay it every month. Maybe every couple of months I throw a payment in there or something.
Right.
So you can, but
Okay.
you're not obligated to do it.
I see. So in planning for your future, especially when you're worried about your spouse or your spouse is worried about you, and none of this affects the ownership of the property.
No, not at all.
Okay, and in regards to that, you have a line of credit that
Yep.
you can tap into that grows
Yep.
if you don't tap into it. What if
Yep.
you do tap into it? Can you reacquire the growth rate that you lost?
So what happens is, let's say you have $100,000 in your line of credit, right?
Yep.
And your air conditioner goes out, unexpected,
right,
right?
right.
So 10 grand. So you just have money from your reverse mortgage line of credit wired into your account, so you can pay off your new air conditioning unit.
Right.
And then let's say you decide, I'm going to put $10,000 back in, so you get $10,000, put it back in your line of credit. You can still use it again,
Right.
and it
Okay.
still goes back to the growth rate.
It does. Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you have to replace it?
You're not obligated to replace anything
Okay.
you borrow from it.
I see. So then now you're at $90,000, but the growth rate remains
Yes, on the
Okay.
$90,000.
on the $90,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Now let's
this is
say-
like money in the bank that you can tap into that you don't get charged for unless you tap into it.
Absolutely.
But it's always there and it grows every year.
That's right. And if your home depreciates in value, it's never going to cut your line of credit.
Which is completely the opposite of how it really works.
That's right.
I mean, if you have a line of credit on a credit card or you have a special line of credit at the bank, as soon as the economy tanks or the housing market crashes,
That's right.
your whole line of credit gets eliminated.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Happened to me.
It happened to me.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I have seen when the last downturn happened in the market, I saw people with a line of credit that was more than the home value was.
Right.
So, in a down
With a reverse mortgage.
with a reverse mortgage.
Right.
So if their market tanked and the house is worth $100,000 and they happen to have $150,000 in the line of credit, guess what? They could still use that $150,000.
Now, you showed me a graphic about that.
Yep.
Which talked about the S&P and how it went down in 2008 but came back in 2018. But 10 years it
10
took to
years.
get back to that.
Yep.
So in that gap that was there, you might be able to use the credit line to make up the difference of the money that you lost in the stock market before it came back.
Right, and a lot of financial advisors, when we put the chart up, you'll be able to take a look at it. It's really painful for
Right.
most of us to look at. But when we look at the chart, you're going to see, let's say, I've worked my whole entire life, right?
Right.
Putting away acting like a squirrel and saving every nut,
Right,
right?
right.
And I'm just about to retire. I've been looking for the day, and all of a sudden, we're going into the turn of when the market starts declining.
Right.
And the market goes all the way down, hits bottom. If I had $100,000 in my retirement savings,
Right.
what it came out on that morning when I woke up and the market was down so
right,
much.
Right, you were, down 80%, 60, 70% in some
That's right.
cases.
Can you imagine tapping into your
Line of credit.
into your retirement savings, your portfolio?
Oh, right.
My nest egg that I've been working on all my life.
Listen, we got to stop. We'll catch up on the next segment. Thanks
Okay,
again.
all right.
And I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. The reverse mortgage specialist is with us here today. And thank you, Nina. And we'll be right back.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Hi, Jeff Barton again for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in this week. We really appreciate it. We're going to have another couple of shows on reverse mortgages. I think it's a really important product and one that a lot of residences here in Las Vegas can take advantage of it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.